Hello everyone, my name is Clementine and welcome back to Clementine Creative. Today I have another video for you. Obviously every Friday you have a new video, but let's just get into the whole explanation of what this video is all about. So basically I'm starting a new series where I will teach you more theoretical parts of art, right? So in every discipline in art, there's this layer of theoretical knowledge that any artist, or every artist, not any, that every artist has, right? And that theoretical part is what I'm gonna try to teach you in these videos. It's not going to be as sexy. There's rarely gonna be anything sexy that we're gonna do. Like, by sexy I mean like really awesome, like chicks or like dudes or whatever. So it's gonna be mainly like basic shapes and just a lot of explanation. This is real time, so you can see that everything I do on the screen real time, but it's not gonna be as long, at least I hope not, like the previous real-time videos. So keeping that in mind, the first thing I'm going to be teaching you today is values. So I'm gonna write this down, and my writing is not the best, so I hope we can deal with that. It's nasty basically. But yeah, values, right? So the value is the most important part about painting, and not just digital painting, any kind of painting, because that's how people perceive things. Value is people perceiving things. That's why we see things in three-dimensionality. In line art, value, not really that important, at least not in the form that I'm going to be explaining it today. In painting, it's very important, and a huge part of basically any painting is value. So just before I start this, I just want to say that obviously, again, this is real time. If you hear any background noises, just ignore them. Hopefully there will be none, but there are. I can help it. The best way of me presenting what value is to you is that we are going to use the basic shapes. These are the three most basic shapes ever. Alright, it doesn't get simpler than this. Well, it does get anything 2D. So this is 3D. So right here we have a cube. So this is a cube. We have a cube and a sphere. And don't spell check me on that. That's probably wrong. I'm just not gonna write because my English writing is not the best. Yeah, don't want to embarrass myself. And then we have a pyramid, right? I'm not even gonna try to write that. We have a pyramid. So we have three basic shapes that are used basically just about anywhere. Anything can be broken down into these shapes, or in two-dimensional world it can be brought down into rectangle, circle, and triangle. But believe it or not, even though these are very simple shapes, they basically consist. Everything consists. Majority of, let's say, a human body consists of these very shapes. It's very simple. You just have to like look at things and you'll see it. Don't worry about it. So you've probably seen this kind of tutorial already on YouTube, but it can be done any way different than this. So this is the light source, right? I'm gonna copy this light source. These are three different light sources. So these are separate, right? Think of these as they're separate. We don't want them to be connected to each other because then the light source is off. But we have these light sources. So basically they're on the top. And value is something that I'm going to demonstrate now. So let me just, there we go. Alright, light sources work in a very simple fashion, which is anything that's the closest to the light source is the brightest. So let me just start with that. This is going to be it's not going to be that nice of a painting, but the point of it is to give you the idea of what I'm trying to do here. So we're going to just darken this part in, right? So what I'm doing here right now is very basic. Three-dimensionality. So this is values at its very simple stages, especially in a cube. Drawing value is probably something a lot of you already know, but maybe you didn't know that that's what it's called. Actually, let me make that darker. Alright, so this is like want to be furthest away. It's not the furthest away from the light source, but we have to decide a point that's going to be darkest. And in our case, this is going to be this one. So we can already see, you're starting to perceive, right? When you're looking at this, you're thinking, okay, this is, I can deal, yeah, I can see that there's 3D in this. That's because you have values, right? So your eyes are perceiving this as a three-dimensional object, even though it's not. This is a 2D object, see? It's 2D. If it was 3D, it would move, my mouse would move like this, right? And this entire thing would be out of the screen and everything, but it's not, it's 2D. But we're giving it the illusion that it's three-dimensional, and that's all done by values. Now if we further, I guess, improve the whole value thing, right? We add a little bit more three-dimensionality to it. This is what we get. And this would be a little bit more accurate to what you would, I guess, find in the real world. Let me just make it a little bit brighter. And doing, you know, very easy exercises like this. It seems like very easy, right? You're thinking, well, that's not very hard. I already knew that. Well, doing things like that is practicing your basic knowledge, and it's very good to practice it every once in a while. So here I'm just going to do a little bit of highlights, which obviously in this case are not true. But you can always manipulate things a little bit, because that's what games are for. Or just, you know, you don't have to completely follow the rule. But here we go, right? This is a 3D box, right? Even looks like a cardboard box or something. And of course, with every, I guess, an object that there is here, we have a shadow. And in this case, the shadow would fall very close to the edge, because we do have the light source coming from above. Right? So very simple. Try not to overdo it. At least I'm trying to not overdo it. You can follow along with this, and you can do it on your own if you want to. That's how I usually watch tutorials, if I do. Alright. So we have a little bit of shadow. So no shadow is technically, you would be thinking, okay, so this is how it goes, right? Well, it doesn't go like this because there's no light source there. The light source is on top, right? Right here. You even brighten that up, so you know you're 100%. So here we have a very simple three-dimensional cube, and this is the very basic value, and this is what everything is consisted of. This is value right here. So the next one we have is the circle, or the sphere, not the circle, the sphere. So what we're going to do is going to take a brush, hard brown brush, and I use the darkest color, and I just press it in, which you probably already knew what I'm doing. It's not very theoretical or connected to the actual theory part. All right, now I'm gonna take a soft brush, and I'm gonna go with a slightly lighter color. So the lighting is coming from above, and what I'm gonna do to help me out a little bit, I'm gonna lasso out the circle. There we go. And now I can go very confidently like this. I don't have to worry about it going over the edges, right? So what we're doing is now applying light, just as the, I guess, the light source implies, right? And we take that one. It's the brightest up here. And there we go. The light falls like that. And then obviously we go with, we're gonna, this is the magic of Photoshop. We can just do this and have a little bit of shadow going on. The closer to the inner corner that it is, the more the shadow will basically be darker. So here we go. That sentence that I just said is That was a really weird sentence. But yeah, right, so the last one is the pyramid, which might seem like it would be really complicated because you wouldn't know how it would work, but it's not that complicated actually. Okay, so now you're thinking, but that's not true, right? That's not how light works, because the light is coming from the top, and if we look at, I guess, this piece here, it's clearly suggesting that the light is coming from this direction right here, right? But it's not true, because we're gonna be making a little bit of a, I guess, a little bit of adjustments. Alright, so we add the darkness here. And what I'm gonna do again is gonna lasso this out. Alright. There we go. Alright, see, we're gonna add darkness. And we're gonna add a little bit of light. Alright. Remember, there is always gonna be one side that's gonna be slightly darker because of the bounce light. But I'm not gonna talk about that again. There is a reason why this side is darker than this one. And now we're gonna add the brightest color right here, right? And up here, slightly darker, but not completely dark. There we go. This is basically, I know I should probably be talking a little bit more, but I'm not very best at real-time videos and talking, and you know how I am. Alright. There we go. Not 100% accurate, but more or less what I was looking for. Alright. I would say that shading this one would be the hardest of the three, but it's not hard to the point where it wouldn't be manageable, right? And a little bit of a highlight. And there we go. So we have three shapes, and these are all three-dimensional. Now, the reason why they're three-dimensional, like I said before, is because we drew them. We gave the illusion. Our eye now thinks that these are 3D objects because it's seeing values. Now, all is nice and everything, because basically what I did here was just draw these simple shapes that anybody can basically, I guess, draw or paint. But what if we take a more complicated shape? So these are basically the correct shapes, right? The correct values and everything. So here I have some of my old work, or basically this one is new, right? Right here, this one is new, and this one is old. When I started out, I thought this was awesome, but really it's not. This piece right here, and let me just go to a slightly more saturated color. And when I did this one, that was weird. When I did this one, I thought it was amazing, but it's really not, because the light here is not good at all, and I didn't realize that at the time. If you look at this one, the values are really good here. The values are really bad here. But I didn't know because I didn't have the theoretical layer of knowledge. So if we turn this layer of saturation, black color, basically set to saturation, we see all the black and whites, right? What we did earlier, but now in a digital painting. And we see this has bright spots and really dark spots down here, or really bright on here on the breasts, and really dark here in the armpit area. Now here we have some darks right here under the nose, under the lip, under the neck, not under the leg. We have brights on the nose, on the cheeks, and then we have a little bit darker here, right? But that's not good, right? We don't want that. So I'm basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to destroy the color information completely. And now we're just left with a black and white painting, right? So we have a little bit of a overflow here, but don't mind that. And guess what the correct way of this, this character, the way it would be correct is had I added brightness here. Let me just actually go with a soft brush. So what my mistake was that there was not enough brightness, right? So we want to add brightness. There has to be a lot of highlighted area because that's how basically three-dimensionality works. Right here, there we go. And the huge mouth and everything, but you know, those are all minor things. And then the shadows, which obviously have not been very they were not the best here. And of course the lips, right? The upper lip has darkness in it, the lower lip a little bit. There we go. And then I guess the neck, right? We want to create darkness here because that's the light is being obscured here completely at this point. There we go. Right. Of course darkness, like I said here before. And then we add highlights for, I guess, the muscles here. Now these are not necessarily visible that much with women as they are with men. But I always draw them. Alright. And we are seeing right now, we're already getting something a little bit better than it was before, right? So, well, obviously it's not great at all because everything is kind of messed up there, but what I kind of lacked was the whole, I guess, three-dimensionality. Even here, there's basically no light source here whatsoever, only a little bit here. This place here needs a lot more light, right? For it to look 3D, especially at the breasts. The breasts have like a lot of light going on just because they're kind of like a balcony, right? They're really out. Like if we look at it from the side, if we explain this from the side, the breasts, if the light comes from the top, right? And we have the head, that's I guess the body right there. The breasts go out like that, right? The breasts go out like that, so they get a lot of light. Then let's say the under breast part doesn't get it, right? That's why we have a shadow there. Alright, so obviously, there we go. So as you can see, with time, as you study paintings and you know, you look some theoretical, I guess, tutorials, you realize, okay, you did something wrong. Again, if we go back here, we have that, which has a little bit of it on the nose already, but we see basically what it was before and how it's more or less supposed to be. Now it's not the best because I did a really fast sketch or whatever, but you get the general idea. What was kind of wrong with that one was that the values are really bad, and if your values are not correct, your paintings tend to look very flat, and you might not notice that actually at the beginning, but that could be very easily achieved here if I just do this. This is what I had before, right here. Or if we just, there we go. See that? Imagine this character doesn't look that good anymore, right? It just looks really flat. It's because we took away a lot of, I guess, lights, right? So we have a very flat piece here. But as soon as we add light, right? See, we're starting to get out the shapes. Obviously it's not the same as before, but you get the gist of it. You need light, right? If we just have like gray, your piece is not gonna look that good, right? So you want there to be light source. And whenever you do a painting, maybe, you know, maybe start grayscale. Go grayscale. I did a lot of characters in the past where I just went with gray, black and white. So you should really do that. It'll really help you out. If you do not know the theoretical part about values, your paintings will look very flat. People will know that you didn't put in the time to learn about values. That's a very big part in painting. I hope this video helped you. I know it was not sexy at all. This is a theoretical part. A theoretical part is never very attractive for the eyes. It's always kind of boring, really. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped you. Again, it was not sexy at all, but it's the theoretical part that you really need to have under your belt. Before you even step in the industry, you need to really master the art part of designing a character, let's say. Again, thanks for watching, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye.